Welcome to Bella in Your Business. My name is Bella Vasta with Jump Consulting, and today I have Crystal Hollman with us. Crystal and I met through good old-fashioned networking. She's a friend of a friend of a friend who I've hired and had great success with. She provides such a unique service that I really wanted to have her in your ears and your earbuds today to kind of help explode your mind on photography and in your business with graphics and just the overall visual appeal. Before we get into it, I want you guys to think about what would Facebook look like if there were no pictures on it? What would your website look like if there were no pictures on it? Pictures and graphics are so hugely important. And if any of you have worked with me, you've heard me say that you always want to show up as Cinderella looking for Prince Charming with your hair and your makeup done and your ball gown and everything looking beautiful. Not with your makeup running down your face, your hair falling out, and sweatpants and shoeless, right? You're not going to attract anyone. And that's what I feel graphics do. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Crystal.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Why don't you give us a little bit of a background? Tell us a little bit about how you became a photographer doing what you're doing today and a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, definitely. So I started my business almost 4 years ago, a mom of two girls. And I started my business because obviously, like most of us, I wanted to be able to have some flexibility in my schedule, be able to be home and raise my girls. And I loved doing photography. So I really wanted to be able to provide a service to businesses. The whole concept kind of came about when I wanted photos of myself for my own website. And I was like, I don't have any photos of me, and I don't want to put stock photos of some random person who isn't me with the camera. So, I developed the idea of helping businesses out there get quality images. So supporting the small businesses and kind of helping them with that and with stock photos because sometimes we need custom stock photos. We all have such unique brands now and are able to do so much with it. So that's kind of where I started with that idea, was just with my own business, and realized that was a need out there for a lot of other businesses and business owners. So it's a little bit about the business, and kind of brought me to this point where I'm trying to support and help as many business owners out there with custom images that they can use that are high quality for websites, blogs, and all of that good stuff.
Yeah. So our listeners know, the way that I found you or you came on my radar was my good friend Desiree, who actually is a military spouse, military mom. She does SEO for people. She is stationed in South Korea. And all of a sudden, her images just started really popping, like her podcast images, her images for her business. And they were all these, they were picturesque of maybe a desk with a little bit of military things thrown in the background, but yet headphones for podcasting or something. It was like these images had been created especially for her. And guess what? They were. And it was incredible. So I kind of actually asked her about it. I'm like, where are you getting your graphics? Because you guys, you have to understand that we sell ourselves online. So even as dog walking and pet sitting companies, we could go to Canva and we could make graphics on our own, but that doesn't mean that they look good. It doesn't always mean that they represent what we do. And there's pictures that we could take of ourselves walking dogs or feeding cats or cuddling puppies, but then there's just some graphics, just like, hey, how did you get your dog's name? Just graphics that you want to throw up there on Facebook. And when you can really match the pictures to your brand, you're going to stand out in that noisy, cluttered graphic world. So, Crystal, explain to us why styled stock photos are so hot right now, and describe a little bit more, go off of what I just kind of said and describe them a little bit more so our listeners can really picture it in their head as they're listening to us.
Right. So they are really popular right now because, again, kind of going back to how our brands are so unique. And we're all trying to stand out in such a saturated market because there may be thousands of dog walkers, for example, across the country, and you want to be the one that stands out in your area. So you're trying to create a unique look for yourself and trying to create that brand consistency. So styled stock photos have become so popular because you can have custom images and take those photos and really brand them and make them part of your brand and consistency with your images. So they've become really popular because you can set up shoots with people like myself where we can go through and identify your brand, identify the look that you're going for, and really decide what you want your audience to be able to see and what kind of message you want to be able to get across, and create custom images that are of cute little desks or, things like that that are going to speak to your type of client, so you can put those out there. So it creates that unique look for you and your brand, and also creates that consistency so people start to then recognize you and your brand all together as one.
Yeah, consistency is a great word, Crystal. You want everyone to be like, oh, that's XYZ company. I recognize the style, And that's kind of one thing that I think is really hard is we try to do it ourselves in something like Canva or PicMonkey, because it's really hard to keep up with that same style board all the time.
Right.
So getting a batch of photos that's like that you can do overlays on, are really helpful. They're very helpful. So where do people use these kind of photos, and what do they use them for?
So people will use them across tons of platforms. I always love answering this question because I think it kind of gets people's minds going as to where they can actually use photos for themselves.
Yeah.
But all across your website. So website banners, background photos, your blog. Your blog needs graphics and stuff too. People are very visual. Obviously social media, so across Instagram, Facebook. People actually use them for their YouTube channels as well. So if you have a YouTube channel or trying to do something unique with videos, you can use them in your videos. People have used them in different presentations, print materials that they might be doing. Maybe they're doing a giveaway or handing out flyers or information to people at fairs, or maybe you're just walking down the street and want to be able to have some materials that you can hand out. People use them for a lot of handouts. So there's so many different ways that you can use the images. I would say people should really explore the opportunity, because I think you can use them in all kinds of ways.
Yeah, for sure. So let's break it down even more. So styled stock photos, we're thinking about, and one of the cool things, you and I had a conversation when we first were engaged together to do business, and it was like, what kind of backgrounds do you like, or what kind do you want? And I decided I'm actually going to use it in my Better Marketing with Bella program because they were so great and so versatile.
Right.
So I want you guys to think about, I think the most common ones that always come to mind are the ones that you see of of a desktop, and it maybe has a mouse and a keyboard and a phone, and they're all kind of like neatly positioned yet a little chaotic. And then you see someone like put a box with a text box over it, and it's announcing something. So that's these styled stock photos that we're talking about. And I think it's so unique with the pet industry, because those photos that we see, you're never going to really see grass with like a leash and tennis shoes and like a couple of pieces of kibble or a treat sprinkled on it. And the glorious part of what you do is you can create those kind of things. I mean, if we were just, a desk job or a virtual assistant, sure, we could go find a plethora of these kind of photos on a deposit photos or on the web somewhere, right? But something that's so specific to the industry, I mean, I think that is just such a killer way to make your brand stand out. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when I come back, I want to know the key things that we need to know about taking photos of ourselves. I want to shift over to, okay, that's great, but I have a photographer coming up to me and we're taking photos. What are your tips for that? So we're going to talk about you personally when we get back.
Sounds good.
And we're back. I'm with Crystal Hollman from Crystal Clear Photography here in Arizona, but she operates virtually everywhere, which is pretty cool and why I'm bringing you to her. And Crystal, I want you to give us your key things that we need to do if we're shooting photos of ourselves.
Yeah, so shooting photos of yourself is obviously very important. I would say some of my top tips for you guys would be to really consider your outfits. It's going to go along with the brand that you're trying to create. So, for instance, if your brand colors are white, blue, and yellow, you're probably not going to want to wear red or orange or, things like that that are really going to clash with your brand because you want your images to really blend well. So really think about your outfits, your brand colors, and your location, of course. That's also very important. Location. So when deciding with your brand shoot, rely on your photographer to kind of help support you, but don't feel bad about driving the location. If your brand is going to be a little bit more casual and you want to be in, a park and you want the greenery and everything, because the majority of what you do is dog walking and being outdoors, really strive to get a location that's going to fit you, your personality, and your ideal client when you reach out to them.
I love it.
Other tip, I would say, my last one, would be to go ahead and do a little bit of makeup. A little bit goes a long way. Some of us, and don't get me wrong, I'm totally the same way. I would avoid it if I at all could. But with your photo shoot, you do want to go ahead and take that extra step and do a little bit of makeup, even if you don't wear makeup on a regular basis. Just helps your features really pop out, and it'll make you feel a lot more confident about the end result of your images.
I love that. I think that's really important. If not, someone who you can go to get makeup done, at least put some cover up, some like lipstick. Like, what do you think about lipstick? Should it be matte or shiny? And talk to me about clothes. Like, should they be printed or should they be solid clothes?
Yeah, so print and shiny, or matte and shiny, I should say, mixing those two together. I always go with matte, but you know what? Sometimes people like shiny. Just know that there might be a little bit of reflection. So typically, I advise the clients kind of go with the matte finish, or maybe some lip balm. Maybe you're not a makeup person. You're like, hey, color freaks me out. Nice lip balm just to kind of avoid having chapped lips, and have that smooth consistency. Outfit wise, I usually advise my clients to stay away from loud prints. Try to go with more solid colors. Kind of, for example, like I've got like a solid tone color here, something that's not going to draw too much attention away from you, the photo, or what you're trying to talk about. Maybe you're using it in advertising, and still complements your brand. So just be careful with the prints because it can get a little nuts. I always err on the side of caution and go with solids.
I love that. That's one of my best tips that I had to learn over the years. It was stay away from the prints. Because, as women, sometimes, we feel like in real life they help hide things.
Right.
But in pictures, they help accentuate things and make things look a lot more busy, Like, you don't want to distract the eye from you, the subject.
It also dates your photo. So
that's
the
good.
other thing. Styles come and go. Solid colors are always consistent. So if you're going to be able to have evergreen photos that you can use consistently for different things, you want to stay away from prints for that reason as well.
I love that's a great tip. So a lot of people, we start our companies on a shoestring budget, right? And now I just got an iPhone 8, which will probably date this podcast, but it's got this portrait feature. And I'm like, woo, I'm a photographer now, right? So I know that some of us might be tempted to say, hey, husband or friend who's really good at taking selfies, can you take some pictures of me with dogs? And that could get you by for social media or something. Maybe let's talk about the advantages to actually hiring a professional. And you guys, I'm not saying Crystal, because obviously Crystal isn't flying around the country. I'm just saying in general, like, let's really help explain to people what benefit it could do having some professional pictures in your business.
Right. So first thing is what I like to call the obvious, quality. You want to be able to use these photos for all different aspects of your business. Having your face on your website is extremely important. So you're probably going to want a couple of headshots and images of yourself. So quality. So going to a professional, we can make sure that we shoot your images in high quality resolution so that you can use them literally for everything and be able to resize them in any way. Another great reason is that we can help you look your best. Sometimes we take our selfies and we're like, oh, my forehead looks really big because that was the wrong angle, or, little things like that. Or you're like, oh, I just can't figure out what I like best about myself. So we really help you with positioning. We can help you with confidence, helping you also bring out your natural self, because sometimes we're so focused on what we look like when we're trying to take a selfie that, you forget to add a little bit of personality or to capture a nice laugh or things like that people are going to want to see, again, depending on the message that you're trying to portray. So working with someone can help you feel confident. We can help make sure to portray you in the right way. And also our creativity. So our creativity is a big aspect. Obviously, you hire someone because you want them to help you create an idea for your brand shoot, come up with locations, and maybe help you with outfits and things like that, and kind of meshing it all together to really help you deliver that message. So I would say that would be another great reason to hire a professional, to really help you create the image that you're wanting and images that you can use for social media and marketing purposes.
Sorry. I was trying to wait till you were done. Crystal, take that out. My podcast producer, for those of you watching the video afterwards, the 15:03 mark, cough, take out. That's how the magic happens. Okay. Crystal, those are all really great tips. Talk to me a little bit more about the post-production, because and the editing that you do, or that photographers do themselves, that I don't think you guys get enough credit for.
Yeah, thank you. We do quite a bit post-production. So we do a lot of things with coloring, lighting. We want to enhance the images to make sure, again, it kind of goes along with the resolution part of it. So they're great for print or for websites, people's different tablets and all of that good stuff. We also do a lot with helping with blemishes because let's face it, sometimes our skin does not always cooperate.
Right.
And maybe having a great hair day and decide we want to do a photo and we just can't get rid of the pimple that we have on our cheek. That happens. So we help with those kinds of things as well, kind of touching up with blemishes and all of that good stuff. But post-production, we also do some skin smoothing and things like that. So if you are blowing up a big picture of yourself, you feel confident about the way that photo looks. Your skin looks good. Color and everything looks great. And pretty much anything else. Sometimes we also remove weird objects. Maybe you took a photo and someone photobombed you when you ran by in the park or something. That's happened before as well.
Yeah.
So we have the ability to be able to really edit and enhance those images and take out and remove and help with those kind of little inconveniences that might come up during your photo shoot.
I love that. That is, it's the unexplained, or it's the unexpected is what I'm trying to say. I remember one photo shoot I did with my dog Rocco, Crystal, and he would not stay still. So I literally, he would only stay still if he was licking my face. It was weird. It was bizarre. So what I did is I laid up against a wall with my feet on the wall, and he was standing over me. So all the camera really saw was my head and my feet, but him over me. And so I used that, and then she snapped away. She was just like, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. And I used that on so many campaigns that I said, we look at things a different way. They're not just your pets, and it was because you just work with what you've got, and you might not have that kind of an experience with a friend or whatever.
Right.
With pets, it's very hard to get them to just sit and smile at the camera. So it's really fun to be giving them a treat with your back to the camera and their face facing it. For any of you listening thinking, how should I do this? Obviously walking a dog, throwing the ball in midair, those cuddles and those hugs, you're going to get so many action shots, but you're going to need a professional who understands how to get your right angle and the expression on that pet's face. I mean, I would not ever want to be a pet photographer. That must be so tough.
Right. Well, and you get the quality of it too, because sometimes you'll get a picture with your phone and it's slightly blurry and you're like, oh, it would have been such a great expression, but photo was kind of blurry. So the other thing that we have is our professional equipment is made for us to be able to help kind of control circumstances like that and be able to capture motion and things like that to help you portray that particular image and not ruin the whole moment.
Right. I can't imagine how many different types of photographers are out there. So what would make you different, and what would be your best advice to someone listening to this right now who are thinking, all right, maybe it is time that I get some professional pictures. You guys push away your fears. I hate doing photo shoots. I know I have to do them. I hate picking out the outfits. I hate trying to get my hair done and my makeup and all. It is the most stressful thing ever. I actually hate it. But I'm always so happy once I get the photos back because I can use them to make myself, I'm going to sound conceited, look good online. Because you have to look good online. That's the age we live in. So I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. Crystal, what is your special aha thing? Or special magic, and what should we look for in photographers when trying to look for them?
Right. So, my aha, or what makes me different from everybody else, is I'm a small business owner, just like all of you guys. So, if anyone's going to understand more of what you need, what you're trying to get at, what types of images are going to be best for your business, layouts, all of that good stuff, it's going to be someone like myself. So, when you're looking for a photographer, I would recommend looking for a brand photographer. Sometimes they call themselves business photographers.
Huh.
They use the fancy word commercial photographer sometimes as well. Those types of individuals are familiar with working with businesses. They can help provide you with ideas, really, help create the image that you're looking for and be able to capture the kind of things that you're wanting for your business. And again, making sure that those things are geared specifically for you to be able to use. They also give you a special release as well. Sometimes if you go to family photographers, you only get a release to be able to use them for print. So that's something else to kind of keep in mind. Some commercial photographers or business photographers like myself, we give you an extended release to be able to use it for virtually anything and be able to also customize it and edit it to add text and things like that for your business. So that's a special tip that some people don't know about.
So it's what did you call that? I want to put it in the show notes for everyone.
Yeah, it's either called a copyright or a business release.
Copyright or business release. I just learned something new today.
Yeah, and it can be a limited copyright. So
Uh-huh.
photographers obviously want to hold some copyright because we want to be able to use images for our portfolio. But
Mm-hmm.
what we do is we release some rights to you so that you, again, can manipulate the image, be able to add text and things like that, and be able to use that for your business and basically own that image and what that's going to look like for you.
And that's a great point that you just brought up, Crystal. You said about your portfolio, because the number one way to know if you want to work with a photographer is looking at their previous photos, right? And their
Right.
portfolio. So do they have the style that you want? Do they evoke, for our industry, I would say, do they evoke emotion? Or is it just like a boring old photo, Because, I mean, I think anyone can be a photographer, just like anyone can be a dog walker, But it's like, to what extent do you want that professionalism? Crystal, again, I am just so glad that you crossed my path, and I know all my Better Marketing with Bella marketeers are too, because you've
Yes.
just provided us with so many unique, awesome, high quality, versatile photos for us to use. And you guys, if you're bumming right now that you're not in the Better Marketing with Bella program, well, first of all, you should be, and you need to contact me for when it opens up again. But you can also get these photos from Crystal, and she's got a special offer for everyone listening today if you want to check her out. So Crystal, I'll let you take this part away.
Yeah, so I've got two awesome things for your listeners. If they want to run over and grab 5 free styled images, you can head over to my website. It's crystalclearphotographyaz.com, and you can grab 5 free styled images there. Or if you're ready to take your business images to the next level and you want to sign up for a custom styled shoot for your brand and you want some more images to really help drive that brand consistency, you can take $25 off that session. Just make sure you give me the referral code of Bella Podcast whenever you reach out to sign up for a session, and I will make sure that you get $25 off that shoot.
Thank you so much for offering that. And you guys, Crystal is so fun to work with. I always look for this with creative and designers that I'm going to have join my team, like yourself, or a graphic designer or website designer. I was impressed from you, and I knew you were the real deal because you sent me a questionnaire. And you guys, here's a tip for anyone that you work with in your company. If they're designing something for you, it's important for them to get inside your head and understand what you want. And then it's also important that they're there to really help mold that to your satisfaction. And everyone works different ways with that. But if it's like I'll take this and you get no revisions or one revision, then it's going to be kind of difficult. So I really am impressed when I see people like yourself, Crystal, and this is a big kudos to you, girl, for having that kind of let me get inside your head discovery session before you just like, oh yeah, dogs and cats. Okay, I'll throw a leash in there, whatever. I'll check out your website. Blah, 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 blah. That's really important, and it really marks the true meaning of a professional. Thank you for joining me today. I want you all to go check out crystalclearphotographyaz.com. That's CRYSTAL, no H. And she's also on Facebook and everything else. Don't forget to redeem that $25 off with Bella Podcast. And if you guys like this episode, please go ahead and comment below, like, share, subscribe for the love of God, share it with your friends, and leave us a review if you're feeling really amazing about this. This has been another episode of Bella in Your Business. Remember to always keep jumping.